You thought it was safe to return to the road, your least favourite eco-activists are back with a new wave of slow marches. Thank you so much. Just Stop Oil caused gridlock by demonstrating next to Parliament in Westminster today. The Met had vowed to crack down with swift action, and more than 60 eco-zealots were arrested in less than 40 minutes. Just Stop Oil accused the Met Police of being heavy-handed and even claimed they were on the side of genocide. 12 of their colleagues were in High Court today after causing massive disruption on the M25 late last year, including climbing on gantries. But they were all spared jail, with 2 given suspended sentences. Now, you know me, guys. I love Just Stop Oil. Said no one ever. Now, this is the thing, is that they are steadily losing their audience, absolutely. And their quest has become less about trying to get people or trying to get the government and big organisations to switch to more sustainable forms of energy, and more about them just actually making life very difficult for everybody around us. Not knowing the practicalities of, if you're going to do a slow march, for instance, and you block the traffic, then you have traffic sitting there with more emissions coming out of their cars, which is, guess what, worse for the environment. And the thing is, I actually wish, even though our prisons are full, and we talk about that a lot, and our justice system is creaking and slowing and almost broken, I wish that they would send some of them to jail. I actually wish that they would, for public order offences, because that would, because that would be a deterrent. Because the point is, Just Stop Oil are doing the opposite. They're actually turning people off sustainable issues that are actually very, very important.
You could just turn your car off and join them if you're worried about releasing more emissions because you're stuck in traffic.
What?
That's not a realistic possibility.
Honestly, I know you said...
If they're going to work, I mean, that's not a realistic option, is it?
And also,
I think we have to decide...
What they're suggesting doing, it just makes no sense. This is the problem.
They don't want much. They just want us to stop drilling for new oil. It's not actually that difficult.
But the problem is with that, James, is that we do not have enough alternatives in place, whether that is nuclear, whether that is wind, whether that is solar power. We don't have ways to back up the energy to the grid. We don't have the infrastructure for every car to be electric. And we still need oil to do that. So eventually, we would like to use more sustainable forms of energy, but it's a process to get there.
But it's a nonsensical argument, because even by 2050, even if we get to net zero, 25% of what we need is going to be oil-based. And by the way, it's not just about fuel. We use oil for a huge number of things. So if you stop drilling, then you're only going to import it from overseas. I'd much rather have it being drilled around where we are, taking the revenue, getting the jobs, getting the tax, investing in our infrastructure. These people should be locked up for longer, and just be done with it. Why the courts feel they should be so soft is pathetic.
Because they're trying to send a message. They're trying to wake us up.
Get elected!
Someone has to do something about climate change.
No, they don't.
No one is stepping up. The government are rolling back what they promised to do. It's not happening quick enough. And we have to decide if we want our children to have a future on this planet. You can arrest them, but you can't arrest the sea as it starts ravaging Cornwall. It's not a lot of rubbish.
It is. I agree with you. I actually 100% agree with you. We have to do something about climate change. This ain't it.
Can I tell you what, though? It does wind me up that if a group of just working-class lads had hung off a motorway gantry, I bet you any money they'd have done time. But for some reason, a lot of these guys escaped jail. And another thing is, the Met Police, best PR they've had in a long time, arrested 65 people in 10 minutes. This is a great moment for them. This is the Met Police doing what people think that they never do. And Just Stop Oil
do it fast enough.
To say that, they did it in 10 minutes. As far as the Met Police go, yeah, fine, we did it in 10. Whatever.
They didn't do it fast enough, and then when you do get them through the justice system, they don't actually get prosecuted and put away. And I'm genuinely happy for people to persuade us to use less materials and oil and everything else, but do your homework to work out what's actually going to make a difference.
I think you're on the wrong side of history, and in 20 years' time, they'll be playing a clip of this on a documentary going, look how all these people...
I've been an electric car driver for 15 years. Don't tell me I don't understand or don't do the work. So I really get it. But what they're arguing for is so impractical and will do so much damage to our economy, our lives, everything else. It's just not practical. And also, we do have an electoral system. So if it's that important to you, stand for election, do what everybody else does. Persuade us. Don't put us off the argument.
I'm dying to know what you think the solution is.
All right, well, we are going to have to move on, but I have a feeling that we will be back to discuss this issue. But we have heard all opinions on Just Stop Oil.